And that was a little bit of an abrupt ending to the music. Hello, 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 and happy Wednesday. It is a beautiful day here in the Bay Area, and the sun is shining on both sides of the house. I have these amazing flowers that my husband got from the farmer's market, and don't they make it feel like spring? I love tulips. I think that yellow is so pretty, and I'm super excited to be here for my weekly Wednesday Live. So if you're new here, or if you're watching the replay, I come on live every Wednesday at noon Pacific time, pretty much come rain or shine, unless I'm on an airplane. Right, Pauline? I see you there in the comments. And I come on Wednesday to talk to you about my blog, because I write a blog, and if you're on my email list, I send you to my blog on Tuesday mornings. And then I always think it's nice to go a little bit deeper, to talk a little bit about what I covered in the blog, and also to answer any questions that you might have about it. So what I like to do at the beginning of these sessions is I always like to remind you, well, where do you find my blog? And of course, I would love for you to be on my email list. And then if you already are, make sure you open your emails. So Tuesday morning, I send it out on every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific, which is what, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 10 a.m. Eastern time. That's when the email goes out on Tuesdays with my blog. And so it's always fun for me to go to my website so that you know where it is. So let me just make sure that that is open in the background, and then I'm gonna pop over there just really quickly to show you how to find it. So if you are ever looking for my website, it's AnnLaFolletteArt.com, which you can see right up here in the browser search bar. And here it is. It says, ready to explore surface design. It's never too late to create, which is my motto. And my blog can be found very easily. We kind of reorganized things up here so that you can see the red button for the blog right in the upper right-hand corner. And so if you click on that, you're going to see all of the different blogs that I've been writing for the last 5 years. I think I'm on year 6 of writing a blog pretty much every week. Again, I don't miss too many. And this was the one from yesterday that I want to talk about today, which is 5 ways to monetize your art. And so you can pop over to read the blog, but I thought that I would talk about it since I have you here live with me. Say hi in the comments so that I know that you're here. And of course, if you're watching the replay, it's nice to see you. So there are lots more than 5 ways to monetize your art. And let me just back up for a second for any of you who are relatively new. So I am a surface pattern designer, and I design my own shirts. And so this is actually a piece of fabric with my design on it, cute little daisies. Very simple. And then I have them made into blouses, which of course I wear and I also sell. And I've been working on this really fun big project this year that I'm going to continue to be spending time on, which is expanding my line of shirts. Hello, Betsy. It's great to see you. Hey, Betsy. It's great to see you joining us from my YouTube channel. So I have this cool new line of shirts. Here, I'll take my sweater off so you can see it a little better. And so I wear my own shirts all the time, which of course is great advertising for what surface design actually is. And surface design is basically putting any of your design work, your artwork, whether it's a repeating pattern or an illustration, onto products in real life. And the quilts are a huge part of it, right? The quilt market is a huge part of surface design because quilts like this one, which has my patterns on it. Look, I even put the pattern I'm wearing is in the quilt. Uh-oh, I hope I'm not needing to authenticate anything. I'm getting a pop-up that's telling me I need to authenticate something. But hopefully that's not going to interrupt our broadcast. So in any event, long story long, I am a surface pattern designer, and I teach a variety of classes about how to become a surface designer, and specifically how to use Adobe Illustrator to get your artwork out into the world, to create a repeat, which is a pattern like this, which repeats endlessly from top to bottom and sideways. But you can also use Adobe Illustrator for illustration work. And there's a lot of, it just opens up so many doors for you. So I wanted to cover like the top 5 ways, even though there are many, many more. And one of the ways to get your art out into the world is to rent it to companies that want to use it for a certain period of time. And that's actually an entire category called licensing. And licensing is popular because you actually have the ability to license the same art to a variety of different companies at the same time. You're kind of in the driver's seat as the person renting the art to go to one company that's going to put them on rugs for a year in the United States, and then go to another company with the same art and say you can use it for aprons, but you can only sell it in France on aprons, and you can only sell it next year or this year because it's different category, different time frame, different industry. So it has this wonderful snowball effect that you can actually have tons of licenses. In fact, I know one person in my creative community who has 100 licenses. She's got like 100 licenses, and it's because you can take the same art and you can leverage it in so many different ways. And you can do that with greeting cards. Look at these beautiful greeting cards. These are gorgeous greeting cards by Lizzie Clark Designs. They're absolutely beautiful. And so you can do paper products, you can do fabrics, which is what I'm wearing, a whole bunch of different opportunities. And the great news is that licensing is a huge industry. There's tons of opportunity. You have to pitch, right? You have to be very disciplined, which is what one of my students who just got licensed did. Her name is Debbie McLaughlin. I talked about her last week or the week before. And so she just landed her first license because you have to be very diligent and you got to pitch all the time, but it's absolutely doable if you're disciplined about it and take yourself seriously as an artist. So that's kind of the first way that people kind of think about monetizing their art. Now, there also are two other big categories, which I like to describe as selling directly versus selling indirectly. So when you sell your work directly, that means that you either offer it on your website and then you're going to ship the products out to somebody who buys them, right? That's a direct connection to your customer. A craft fair is another direct way for you to get in front of customers. Selling your products in retail stores is another direct channel. It's sometimes called wholesaling. And there are a variety of ways for you to sell directly. And if you're outgoing and you love the interaction with the customer, and you like to curate how you actually package it all up for them, then direct selling is a totally awesome option for you. Indirect is more you upload your designs to someone else's site, like a print-on-demand site, like Spoonflower for fabric, or Society6 or Redbubble for a variety of other products, and then they sell it. You still have to market your designs, but then they're the ones who do the manufacturing and the shipping, so you don't have to own any inventory. That's indirect. Then you can also get your art out into the world, both by teaching how you do it and selling it at the same time. And I think of sort of workshops or sewing retreats or a painting membership or those types of a Procreate workshop, a Illustrator for the iPad workshop. Those are all additional ways for you to introduce your audience to what it is that you do creatively, and then also in the process sell some of your products to those students. So that's the fourth category, big categories, right? And then the other way also that I like to mention is like a membership. And I just mentioned last week, actually, we talked about Maria Alzanier's membership. And soon we're going to be talking about Pauline Riley's Procreate membership, right, Pauline? And then maybe in a few months we'll talk about Kathleen Riley's. I don't know if Kathleen Riley has her workshop up and running or if she's going to be doing it again. But these are all memberships where you join and become a member, and then you learn something. You learn this incredible creative craft, like Pauline teaches Procreate, and then she also sells the designs that she creates using Procreate. So it's a really, really great way to have these amazing synergies in your business. And the reason that I thought this would be a great topic is one of the other just massive categories of opportunity is the quilting industry. And so I don't know if any of you guys are quilters or if you have quilts. I think we almost all own a quilt. And when you think about a quilt, let me show you my quilt again. When you think about a quilt, you know that when you have a quilt, there's tons of fabric on this quilt. Someone made the designs in this quilt. Me, in this case. These are my fabrics. But think about it. There's an incredible opportunity for you to design in collections. This is sort of a collection, meaning that all these patterns kind of go together. They use similar colors. Some of the motifs are repeated. It has a lot of, it goes together is the best way to describe it. And that's like working in collections. And then you can have all of your fabrics get picked up by the quilting retail stores, right? Fabric stores that sell to quilters is a better way for me to say it. And today, inside my Doodles program, so we're just wrapping up my latest Doodles program, my Doodles from Doodles to Dollars coaching week program, and we had Ali Ride come on and talk to us about quilting and how exciting the quilting market is and what a huge opportunity it is, right? It's a really, really big opportunity. And so I thought that what I would do is I would show that to you guys again, and I don't know whether or not it will, I'll be able to do it. Let me see. I'm going to try something that I haven't tried when I've been actually already in, when I've already been inside. I'm going to try something. Hold on. I'm just going to try something. I've never actually tried this before, so this is going to be really interesting to, I'm going to introduce you guys to Ali Ride, and she's offering a special bonus today when you enroll in my Academy program. And so I'm just going to run this video. I'm going to see if this is going to work.
Welcome to the wonderful world of quilting. You've probably had a quilt in your life at some stage, whether from a grandmother, your mom, or an auntie, or someone within your family. You've probably seen a quilt on someone's bed, right? Or you might have even snuggled underneath a quilt on the couch, or seen quilts at a museum or an art gallery. Quilting is everywhere. It's all around us. And if you're a surface pattern designer, it's definitely something that you want to check out. Quilting is big business. Hello and welcome to Quilting 101 for Surface Pattern Designers. Everything a non-quilter needs to know to get started. I'm Ali Ride, I'm a designer, a maker and an entrepreneur, and I teach people how to design and write quilt patterns so they can step into their creativity, discover their unique design style and grow a creative business that they love. I have been a quilter for more than half a decade and I've got a passion for textiles and design. So why should you be interested in quilting? Well, chances are you got interested in surface pattern design because you'd like to see your designs on fabric and see your name on the selvage of your very own fabric collection. If this sounds like you, then you need to be considering the quilting industry. It's an industry that's approaching almost $5 billion a year with over 12 million active quilters worldwide. And what do quilters need most when it comes to quilt making? Well, you guessed it, fabric. But you might not be a quilter and you might need a little bit more information, background information on how to design for the quilting market. So that's where I can come in. First up, I just want to mention that this workshop, it's not about teaching you how to quilt. I'm not going to be showing you how to construct a block or sew a quilt or any of those kind of things. This is Quilting 101 for surface pattern designers. That's you. So what I will cover is some basics about quilting, just to get you started, a little about quilting fabric, and I'm going to give you an outline of what a surface pattern designer needs to know if they want to design fabric for quilters and for the quilting industry specifically. There are a couple of particular things that quilters look for when choosing fabrics for quilting. So with a little inside knowledge, you'll be all set to wrap up your next collection for the quilting market, get ready to pitch it and get licensed. First off, I'm going to outline some of the terminology that we might use within the quilting sphere, and we're going to take a look at some basic quilting blocks and sizes to give us some groundwork for what we're going to look at next. Then we're going to get nerdy with quilting fabric and how it's made. We're going to look at how fabrics are printed and what implications this might have for your surface pattern designs. We're also going to explore what quilters look for in fabric, how they use fabrics in quilts, and how this might impact the choices they make when selecting fabrics to use for their quilts. I'm going to go deep on how these choices might impact your choices as a surface pattern designer when it comes to pattern scale, color, and contrast choices. And to wrap up, we're going to take a look at quilt patterns, why you might need to have a quilt pattern, what's involved in writing a quilt pattern, and a really basic method to get you started. And finally, we're going to have a look at how to mock up a quilt using your own surface designs so you can leverage the quilting industry to grow your business as a service designer. I've also put together a cheat sheet for you, so play along and fill in the gaps as we go. So, are you ready? Here we go! Let's get started with some basics. What is a quilt exactly?
Isn't she fabulous? Oh my goodness, I am so excited about this new bonus that is a part of my Pattern Design Academy program when you enroll in this program today. So I wanted to take this opportunity to share with you, like, what is my Pattern Design Academy all about? I'm letting you know all about it because I've already opened the enrollment for all of my doodlers, the people who are in my Doodles program, and I'm now ready to make sure that you are also absolutely welcome to join it. And Pauline Riley is going to put the link in the comments, but I also can open it up on screen so that I can talk to you all about it and make sure that I can answer any questions, and I can also tell you where you can learn more. But if you go to the link that Pauline just put on screen, I'm also going to show you where it is. If you go to members.artwithanne.com/enroll, you can see all of the information right here. And enrollment closes actually tomorrow night. And so this is the perfect time for you to learn all about it and decide if this program is right for you. And I'm going to talk a little bit about who it's for, and I'm going to give you examples of people who have joined the program in the past and been very successful, because it's a very robust program and all of the information is available here for you, including some fantastic, very short little snippets from some of my graduates. Let me see if you can hear this if I play it.
When I finally got my pattern,
Here, let me put it
I had been wanting to learn to make a pattern in Illustrator for so long. And I was kind of afraid of Illustrator. I am not a math person. And it seemed to be very mathematical, and I was afraid of it. You probably remember, I was like, help, help. But you were so awesome. I was so excited because you were so patient with me. And your notes, I mean, I have a notebook that's this thick on my class with you. And when I finally got my pattern, I went inside and I showed Gary, and he goes, wow, that's really cool. And I said, I think I'm going to have to take the full class. And I was so happy because he goes, I think you are. And I was so excited.
I'm going to come back on screen for a second because I want to tell you the other incredible news. So she took my Doodles, From Doodles to Dollars course first, right? My coaching week, and then she invested in my Pattern Design Academy program. And when she invested in the program, I didn't have this book. So now when you join the Pattern Design Academy program, you have the opportunity to purchase this workbook. And this workbook is over 300 pages. It's beautifully bound. It lies flat on your desk, and you have the opportunity. You don't have to buy it, but you can buy it. And it has every single cheat sheet, assignment, everything that's covered in the Academy program is actually written up in great detail with screenshots so that you can see exactly what I'm doing on screen when you follow along in the videos. And so I haven't had this book before, but I have it now, and it's an opportunity for you to have it right by your side instead of printing everything out yourself, right? It's fantastic. And great. So Betsy, did you order a workbook when I sent out the first set of orders? That's awesome. I'm so glad that you guys are loving the workbook. And Jane said the workbook is incredible too. I agree. So thank you so much for jumping into the comments and telling everybody else that, because of course it's always a lot more fun to hear about it from somebody other than me, right? So let me move this cute little comment all the way up to the top. So Betsy loves the workbook, and this comment actually is from Jane. Thank you, Jane, for mentioning it as well. So the Pattern Design Academy is open for enrollment, but let's listen to another student talk about it.
I said to myself at the beginning of the year, do something for me that is going to make me feel like I have a place in the world kind of thing. Your course kept coming up. For the first time in a very long time, I was just super excited and elated, and I thought, this is speaking volumes to me in terms of this is what I want to do. I've always doodled in the margins in my, when I'm at high school, I was drawing in the margins and things like that. And I thought, I could turn this into a pattern, really. I was just gobsmacked, to be honest, to use a very English expression. And I will say to anyone, so worth it. It's just everything you need to learn to do surface pattern, to feel confident in your design and your drawing and yourself. If you can, just go for it and do it. I said to myself at the beginning.
So that's Shalini, and Shalini actually is British, but she lives in the United States. But it's a great example that this is also a totally international practice. So surface design exists in every single country. Right, Pauline? And you can get your work licensed in any country. You also can sell your designs in any country in a variety of different ways. And so it's an international opportunity, which is fantastic. And the other thing that's amazing is that now that we have all of this online technology, I can support you even better than ever, because you get a combination of videos to watch. You get this incredible, you have the opportunity to also follow along with this workbook, or you print them all out yourself. That's an option too, but it's great that I did it for you if you want to buy one of the books. And then we also have Q&As. And so I wanted to just talk a little bit about like the mechanics of how the program works, because I think that is super helpful, and it's one of the questions that kind of comes up the most. So let me make sure that I have all of my ducks in a row behind me here, and I will tell you a little bit more about it. So let's see, where did that go? I want this to be on screen, and I'm going to close that so it's not confusing. And I'm going to keep using the tech, right? Keep using all this fabulous tech. So now I want to see if you can see this. There we go. I think you're going to be able to see it. So the Academy program is a 6-week program, and we start next week. So here we are in the month of March, the calendar on the left. And hold on, I just want to do one thing. I want to get my picture out of the way so that you can see better. Did I get my picture out of the way so that you can see me better? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now you see kind of more full screen. So the program is 6 weeks long. And so we start next week on Monday. And you get a module delivered on Mondays, and then you have an opportunity to go through that at your own pace. There are usually 12 to 15 lessons in each module. They're all short video lessons, and there's also homework assignments and other support that I provide to you. And we have Q&As twice a week. So you can see that we run all the way through the month of April, which is the calendar in the middle, and then we wrap up in the first week of May. Graduation is Graduation is Friday, May 3rd. And so how is the course delivered? Everyone's always curious about, well, how do you deliver the course? So we have our welcome and orientation meeting on Monday of next week. Modules are released on Mondays. As I mentioned, modules contain 12 to 15 video lessons on a specific topic. And the modules also contain practice files and cheat sheets and homework, so you really can follow along as we're going through it together. And your questions are answered twice a week during our Q&A sessions. And I created this new slide because I thought it would be really fun for you to see where we're going, right? So where exactly are we going inside the Pattern Design Academy program? And then how do you achieve your certificate of completion? We start with a review of the basics of how to create a repeating pattern inside Adobe Illustrator, and then we dive much deeper into different capabilities and different tools you need to learn in Illustrator, in Illustrator to really master the program. Then we move into workflow and color. What I mean by workflow is my sort of best practice of how I go through the design cycle when I'm creating a series of patterns. We also talk about motifs, because motifs are the elements that go into your design. They're the little doodles that you put into it. And there are a variety of different ways to both create them and enhance them to make your designs more beautiful. Then we dive deeper into basic repeats. What are the variety of different repeating patterns that you can make? What are they called? What do they look like? How do you make them? And we also do advanced repeats, because there are so many different types. You also learn how to design in collections, which is what I just talked about when I showed you my quilt. Collections are a very cohesive series of patterns that go really well together. And then we talk about both the art of business and creative entrepreneurship, because it's so important for you to understand the financial aspects of running a creative business. And this, then you get your certificate of completion, and everything that we cover over the 6 weeks inside this program is valued at $3,500. By the end of the program, you'll have conquered Adobe Illustrator like a boss. You'll know how to design patterns that really wow. You'll create a collection of coordinated prints. I'll help you pick the industry that is probably best for you to get started in, and will also ensure that you understand the business strategies that are required for you to grow successfully. And you get lifetime access to the course, which means when you purchase it, it will be in your course library, and you'll be able to access it anytime you want. And there are 2 options to pay for it. There is a one-time payment of $1,997, which is the best value because you save almost $400 over the payment plan, and you get my extra comprehensive guide to licensing, which is a separate course on licensing, which we started to talk about today. There's also a 6-month payment plan. You pay $397 a month, and you'll have 5 additional payments of $397 each, which is why it ends up being more expensive. It's about $400 more expensive than the one-time payment. Now, the pay in full bonus is super important for me to mention, because it is a separate course called the Comprehensive Guide to Licensing, and it's a $597 value. Here you can see it on screen. It's a totally separate course that will be side by side with your Academy program in your course library. And you also get an ebook to go along with it. And so I don't want you to miss that. And so I'd love for you to say yes to yourself and join the Pattern Design Academy. You can go to members.artwithann.com/enroll and read more details. But one of the things that I'm welcoming new students already, which is absolutely fantastic. And one of the questions that comes up a lot is, well, can you give me some examples of people who've enrolled in the program before, and like, what are they doing? And so I thought that that would be really, really helpful, because it's never too late to create, right? So when I go back to, let me come back up to sort of this slide where the pattern design is, I think in my students, from my students, using my students' words, they have described it as the most comprehensive program for creating, perfecting, and selling your artwork in the surface design industry. And I think that the reason they describe it that way is because it's really the only program of its kind that shows you in a very small, intimate, very hands-on manner, because my class size is really small. I show you exactly how to create beautiful illustrations and repeating patterns, and how to get them into the eager hands of customers. You can put them on fabric, on wrapping paper, on wallpaper, and more. So just a couple of examples of fabulous women who've come into my program, and men, and I always reinforce the fact that it's never too late to get started. So I am 66, but it is not too late to get started. So Debbie said that she wasn't initially going to join the program because of the cost, but that one thing that I said changed her mind. And I had talked about my big Catholic family and how supportive they were, and the first 17 people on my email list. And this really hit hard because her parents and in-laws have passed away, and her older sister also unexpectedly died during COVID, and she only has one remaining sister who she doesn't see very often. And so being in a group that is genuinely interested in the same creative endeavors makes a huge difference, and she has been very successful. So I talked about her last week, the week before last. Her name is Debbie McLaughlin. So you can go to my AnnLaFolletteArt.com and go to the blog and go backwards. And I think I also did a live with her, which you can also watch the replay of either on my YouTube channel or here on Facebook if you go to the videos tab. Long story long, she has just become licensed. She just got her first licensing contract, which is incredibly exciting. And it didn't happen overnight, right? She took the program last year and she got licensed this year. So it took about 12 months, but she was very dedicated and she had a goal in mind and she stuck to the goal. And of course, I and my community supported her every step along the way. And so it's a wonderful success story. So the other thing that comes up quite a lot when people come into my program is that they are really looking for someone who's going to support them in getting their art out into the world and realizing that it's not too late for them to show up as their own crazy, weird artist. So here's what Denise Brown said, which is that there are few people that can make a difference in one's life that are as commendable and memorable in life as you are. I now have a role model for my career choice. She said that she recently began a new life in marriage at 50 years young. Her hubby is a woodcrafter and supports my artistic capabilities wholeheartedly, which isn't that nice. And she now realized that she's suppressed her freedom. She is the crazy, weird artist that is so alive and eager to learn how to apply doodles and sketches, and that creative artist is really who she is. And I want to thank you for helping let that part of me emerge and blossom through surface design. And then Amanda Clemson said that she loved the short bite-sized videos, right? I described the fact that in each module, it takes you about an hour to get through a module, but they're short snippet little videos that are 5 to 8 minutes long. So as Amanda said, it makes it easy to learn and minimizes the overwhelm. Plus, all of the resources and downloadables are great. I felt behind a few times and really liked the catch-up week. I love your enthusiasm and support. It really helped erase any doubts that I have. That was probably the biggest thing for me. Thank you. So I'm going to come back on screen and kind of wrap up because there are lots and lots of stories like that. And what I was saying before is it's not just like an online course. You might have taken an online course before, you kind of do it on your own, and there are many, many wonderful ones out there. What is unique about mine is that I keep the class size small and you get these I'm very practical. So I help you kind of put on that practicality hat as you're learning all of the techniques you need to use so that you can get your art out more successfully. And so you can do the course without a printer, yes. So Rose, you don't need a printer. I like to have a printer because I like to look at my designs on a piece of paper to ensure I kind of like what they look like and I like the scale, but you can look at it all online. So the reason that I also wanted to come on to talk about this today is because Allie's fabulous bonus about quilting is available today. So if you enroll before the end of the day today, which is Wednesday, March 20th, you get that extra bonus with your purchase. So I thought that would be really important for me to talk about. And if you know me, you know that I had to totally reinvent myself in my late 50s because I got laid off from my corporate job. And it was not easy at the beginning, figuring out what I was going to do next. And I had this real sense of kind of dread that my life was over, and it's not. And we all can reinvent ourselves. We can pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off and figure out what is actually going to truly bring us joy. And I'm so blessed to have found surface design and to be able to share my passion for surface design with you. Because if you were told as a kid that you weren't talented enough, so you didn't pursue art, or you were told by a teacher in school, like Pauline was, that you're not really an artist with a capital A, so you shouldn't pursue it. Those things stick with us and they hurt us deeply as young adults, either children or young adults. And it can hold us back from exploring our creativity for years and years and years. And yet I am a great example of someone I was super creative as a kid, but I didn't have any examples to follow. So since I didn't have any examples to follow, I went the corporate route. and I got a boring corporate job, and I was very hardworking. I was very successful. I worked all the way up the ladder to the vice president level, and then poof, one day my boss called me into his office and said, "We just got rid of your job." And that's devastating. But here's the thing. I realized that it is never too late to create, and it's never too late to recreate your life. And I wake up every day now with a smile on my face and with such joy, because I'm either going to be supporting you in my academy program, and when I'm teaching, I'm all in. I only am focused on teaching. I'm not doing anything else. I'm supporting you 500% because your success leads to my success. But then when I'm not teaching, when the course is over, I go back to my own art and to creating my own collections and to developing things like this line of blouses. And it's incredible to be my own boss at the age of 66. I love it. And I want to encourage you to do it too. And you don't have to do this full time. You can do it part-time. You can do it on your own terms, but it's absolutely amazing. So that was my presentation today. That's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to make sure that I both talked about the 5 sort of biggest ways to monetize your art so you get a sense of what the opportunities are. And inside each of those 5 categories, there's tons and tons of subcategories that we explore inside the Pattern Design Academy. And then since it doesn't open for enrollment very often, I wanted to just make sure you don't miss the window. It closes tomorrow night, but if you purchase today, you get Allie's fabulous Quilting 101 for surface pattern designers. And then don't forget, I've also created this incredible book for you. It's 300 pages of all of my cheat sheets that go along with the lessons. And so as you go through the enrollment process, you'll see the opportunity to buy it. And I'll be shipping them out at the beginning of April. So thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much, Pauline, for sharing the link. It's members.artwithann.com/enroll. And Pauline, we need to have you come on and talk again about how it has really been an extraordinary experience for you and an exciting journey, and how we've become besties as a result. Right? It changed your life, it changed my life, and we are now besties, right? And so I will let you all go. I will be back next Wednesday with a little bit of a surprise next Wednesday. But I always like to say in closing that I am Ann LaFollette, and it's never too late to create. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week.